Welcome to the third hour, where we seek to bridge faiths through informed dialogue. Our goal is to equip Christians to better understand Islam so you can engage with respect, grace, wisdom, and confidence. Let's dive in. For centuries, Christians and Muslims have disagreed about a single promise Jesus made on the night before the cross. I will ask the Father, and he will give you another comforter. Was Jesus foretelling the Holy Spirit or another prophet? Today we'll test the claim that Jesus predicted Muhammad, and we'll do it by reading Jesus' words in their own historical context. The Quran records Jesus saying, "I bring good news of a messenger to come after me, whose name is Ahmad." Because Ahmad Muhammad means praised, some Muslim writers argue that when John's Gospel says comforter or paraclete, it really meant praised one, pointing to Muhammad. Others say Jesus' word Parakletos in Greek was corrupted from Parakletos, renowned, again pointing to the praised one. But before we adopt a theory, we must ask, what did Jesus actually say, and what do the earliest texts show? Let's test this out. If we look at ancient Greek manuscripts of John's Gospel from the 2nd century onward, what do they say? P66, Codex Sinaiticus, etc. reads Parakletos, Paraclete. Not one known early copy reads Parakletos. In Greek, vowels are written. Changing Parakletos to Parakletos would require multiple letter changes, the kind of alteration that leaves evidence. We have none. So the praised one reading has no manuscript support. The word Jesus' disciple John wrote is Paraclete, an advocate, counselor, helper. So who is this Paraclete? Jesus explains it himself. In John 14:16, Jesus says he will be with you forever. In John 14:17, he is the Spirit of truth. He dwells with you and will be in you. In John 14:26, the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name. In John 15:26, the Spirit of truth who proceeds from the Father will testify about me. And in John 16:13, 14, he will guide you into all truth. He will glorify me. Jesus also told his disciples where and when to wait. Do not leave Jerusalem. You will be baptized with the Holy Spirit in a few days. In Acts 1. 10 days later, at Pentecost, the Spirit came. Luke writes, they were all filled with the Holy Spirit. Even Arab visitors heard the wonders of God in their own language. The Paraclete arrived, not in Arabia 6 centuries later, but in Jerusalem within days, just as Jesus promised. Taken together, Jesus identifies the Comforter as the Holy Spirit, a divine person who would live within his followers and remain forever. That can't describe a later human messenger. So if we review the claims, first, Paraclete really means a human prophet. However, in the New Testament and early Christian usage, Paraclete means advocate or helper. Jesus explicitly names the Paraclete as the Holy Spirit and says he will be in the disciples and with them forever. Second claim is that holy was added later in John 14:26. However, the oldest Greek witnesses read Holy Spirit. Even if you removed holy, the surrounding verses still call the Paraclete the Spirit of truth. And finally, the claim that Parakletos, praised one, points to Ahmad Muhammad. However, there is no manuscript evidence for Parakletos in John, and substituting praised one breaks the flow. Jesus never says the praised one in John 14:16. He calls the coming one the Spirit. Christians can acknowledge that Muslims revere Muhammad, but historically, that reverence doesn't change what Jesus said and how the earliest Christian community understood him. Jesus did not leave his people as orphans. He sent the Holy Spirit, God's own presence, to indwell, comfort, teach, and empower the church until the end of the age. That is the plain reading of John 14:16 and the lived history of Pentecost. The Comforter is the Holy Spirit. If you're ready to learn, grow, and speak truth in love, join us, subscribe now. The conversation starts here.